said Maurice. "You know jolly well I'm going away, or you wouldn't be here." And indeed the room had never, somehow, been a favourite of Lord Hugh's. "Meow," said Lord Hugh. "Mew," said Maurice with scorn. "That's what you always say. All that fuss about a jolly little sardine tin. Any one would have thought you'd be only too glad to have it to play with. I wonder how you'd like being a boy. Lickings and lessons and ampos and sent back from breakfast to wash your ears. You wash yours anywhere. I wonder what they'd say to me if I washed my ears on the drawing-room hearthrug." "Meow," said Lord Hugh, and washed an ear as though he were showing off. "Mew," said Maurice again. "That's all you can say." "Oh no, it isn't," said Lord Hugh, and stopped his ear washing. "I say," said Maurice in awe-struck tones. "If you think cats have such a jolly time," said Lord Hugh, "why not be a cat?" "I would if I could," said Maurice, "and fight you." "Thank you," said Lord Hugh. "But I can't," said Maurice. "Oh yes you can," said Lord Hugh. "You've only got to say the word." "What word?" Lord Hugh told him the word, but I will not tell you, for fear you should say it by accident, and then be sorry. "And if I say that I shall turn into a cat?" "Of course," said the cat. "Oh yes, I see," said Maurice, "but I'm not taking any thanks. I don't want to be a cat for always." "You needn't," said Lord Hugh. "You've only got to get some one to say to you, 'Please leave off being a cat and be Maurice again,' and there you are." Maurice thought of Dr. Strong-it-arms. He also thought of the horror of his father when he should find Maurice gone, vanished, not to be traced. "He'll be sorry then," Maurice told himself, and to the cat he said suddenly, "Right, I'll do it. What's the word again?" said the cat. Said Maurice, and suddenly the table shot up to the height of a house, the walls to the height of tenement buildings, the pattern on the carpet became enormous, and Maurice found himself on all fours. He tried to stand up on his feet, but his shoulders were oddly heavy. He could only rear himself upright for a moment, and then fell heavily on his hands. He looked down at them. They seemed to have grown shorter and fatter, and were encased in black fur gloves. He felt a desire to walk on all fours, tried it, did it. It was very odd. The movement of the arms straight from the shoulder, more like the movement of the piston of an engine than anything Maurice could think of at that moment. "I'm asleep," said Maurice. "I'm dreaming this. I'm dreaming I'm a cat. I hope I dreamed that about the sardine tin and Lord Hugh's tail and Dr. Strong's." "You didn't," said a voice he knew and yet didn't know. "And you aren't dreaming this." "Yes, I am," said Maurice, "and now I'm going to dream that I fight that beastly black cat and give him the best licking he ever had in his life. Come on, Lord Hugh." A loud laugh answered him. "Excuse my smiling," said the voice he knew and didn't know, "but don't you see, you are Lord Hugh." A great hand picked Maurice up from the floor and held him in the air. He felt the position to be not only undignified but unsafe, and gave himself a shake of mingled relief and resentment when the hand set him down on the inky tablecloth. "You are Lord Hugh now, my dear Maurice," said the voice, and a huge face came quite close to his. It was his own face, as it would have seemed through a magnifying glass. And the voice, oh horror! The voice was his own voice, Maurice Basingstoke's voice. Maurice shrank from the voice, and he would have liked to claw the face, but he had had no practice. "You are Lord Hugh," the voice repeated, "and I am Maurice. I like being Maurice. I am so large and strong. I could drown you in the water butt, my poor cat, oh, so easily. No, don't spit and swear. It's bad manners, even in a cat." "Maurice!" shouted Mr. Basingstoke from between the door and the cab. Maurice, from habit, leapt towards the door. "It's no use your going," said the thing that looked like a giant reflection of Maurice. "It's me he wants." "But I didn't agree to your being me." "That's poetry, even if it isn't grammar," said the thing that looked like Maurice. "Why, my good cat, don't you see that if you are I must be you? Otherwise we should interfere with time and space, upset the balance of power, and as likely as not destroy the solar system. Oh, yes, I'm you right enough, and shall be, till someone tells you to change from Lord Hugh into Maurice. And now you've got to find someone to do it." "Maurice!" thundered the voice of Mr. Basingstoke. "That'll be easy enough," said Maurice. "Think so?" said the other. "But I shan't try yet. I want to have some fun first. I shall catch heaps of mice." "Think so? You forget that your whiskers are cut off. Maurice cut them. Without whiskers, how can you judge of the width of the places you go through? Take care you don't get stuck in a hole that you can't get out of or go in through, my good cat." "Don't call me a cat," said Maurice, and felt that his tail was growing thick and angry. "You are a cat, you know, and that little bit of temper that I see in your tail reminds me." Maurice felt himself gripped round the middle, abruptly lifted, and carried swiftly through the air. The quickness of the movement made him giddy. The light went so quickly past him that it might as well have been darkness. He saw nothing, felt nothing, except a sort of long sea-sickness. And then suddenly he was not being moved. He could see now, he could feel. He was being held tight in a sort of vice, a vice covered with chequered cloth. It looked like the pattern, very much exaggerated, of his school knickerbockers. It was. He was being held between the hard, relentless knees of that creature that had once been Lord Hugh, and to whose tail he had tied a sardine tin. Now he was Lord Hugh, and something was being tied to his tail, something mysterious, terrible. Very well, he would show that he was not afraid of anything that could be attached to tails. The string rubbed his fur the wrong way. It was that that annoyed him, not the string itself. And as for what was at the end of the string, what could that matter to any sensible cat? Maurice was quite decided that he was, and would keep on being, a sensible cat. The string, however, and the uncomfortable tight position between those chequered knees, Something or other was getting on his nerves.